Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's career mode. This is episode 139. We are at La Vuelta. This is our second part to this one, and of course, we are going to try to make our way quickly through this race. Getting through a very quick one here. It's stage 3, but it's a punchy stage, and when you quick sim the punchy stages, things tend to go poorly. They just do. And Sifsi is not a punchy kind of guy, but Karaman is not going to be impacted here by us pushing right now. And so Sifsi is going to do just that. He's going to push and set us up to get over the top here. Gabretskabir is pushing right now, but Kikovci and Sifsi, that sets us up over the top. This will come back together here in a moment. I think Gonzalez Albiol will be taking over just after that. Let's get him and Riabovis to gel up. Right now, Isakov and Martin Guerrero, who are not punchy, but in the top 5, are on the back. So basically, we have a 4-man train for the final climb here in just a moment. Kikovci and Sifsi getting back in place should be pushing hard to get us right towards the front for the base of that climb. And you can see Sifsi now coming hard, coming forward. Again, not doing any damage to his teammates, but it's all Albiol losing the wheel. Okay, well, he's a 99, and it's 2.4K, so gel up for the rest of these guys, and we're going to push full gas now towards the finish. Set these guys both to their pace to go as fast as they can along the way, but it's Gonzalez Albiol who needs to come. It's already 1.9, and Adria is going pretty fast. Carapaz. These guys are in front positions here, but we're now into a position where we have 2 lead-out riders left, and they are already sprinting, and they're going to be able to go full gas towards the line. Petrov, looks like Karaman's not even going to get to his max. Oh, Petrov, great run here. Karaman has a little bit left for the last 300 meters, but does he have room? Petrov needs to get out of the way. There we go. We make that space. And is Karaman going to be able to get into the top 3? Not quite. We're not quite punchers. Carapaz and Bernal have great punch ratings. Adria, we get both guys into the top 5. Little time gap right there after Riabovis. Could be. There's a couple opportunities there for a time gap. Oh, it's crazy to think that they would actually give us some sort of gap on that. There was no gaps in the top 150. Here, on a stage that isn't even punchy, this is a sprint stage. I don't see how it's a punchy stage at all, but here, we quick sim, because why would I bother with a stage like that? And here we do see time gaps. Paulus and Reese, plus 14 seconds, at least it's close, before we then have a trio of team members there. So here's how the standings look at the moment after 4 stages, including 2 punchy ones. Carapaz and Ghana on top. Karaman, Martin Guerrero, Isakov still right there in the mix, 3, 4, 5. Soler, Paulus are 6 and 7. Petrov falls off a little bit. He is 8th at 59 seconds down. Bernal still a minute 19 behind. We are just about past the point where the best riders have all been signed. There's a little over a handful of 78s left, and then you're getting into 77 and below. So the best riders have all been signed. What we need to watch out for, though, is the fact that we are now 20th in the index. Right as the index part, World Tour-wise, is just about set. It does look like we are going to need one of our top guys to level up over the next couple of months to boost us back into position where we would be hanging on to World Tour status. Otherwise, at the moment, we would be the best Continental Pro team out there and would be much too strong for Continental Pro, though, admittedly, we are pretty weak for World Tour come next season without a Karaman, without a Berlikov. Petrov, well, Karaman is a poor man's stage racer. Petrov's quite a bit worse. Martin Guerrero, quite a bit worse than that. And we still have some development to go. We have no real strengths. We're just very average across the board. So that being said, it's a team that might deserve to be Continental Pro next season. But we'll see if there's that development side to boost them back up. Not that it matters, because obviously the season series is coming to an end. Midway point, and I'm planning on going very quickly through at least the majority of this stage. But let's talk about a couple things. So it's stage 8. It's the second of 7 mountain stages in this year's Vuelta. And my expected race day condition as a team is a plus 12 net as a whole group. We have 2 guys on fitness peaks. We have everybody on objectives. We came well prepared for this race. We have a single rider returning from injury who is still rebuilding his fitness, but otherwise everybody's in fantastic shape. But a couple negative things have happened. One, Ria Bovis is having some serious pains, we'll say, complications. He's got an illness that has worsened. The initial diagnosis was, so maybe we should think about withdrawing from the race. And then today, I got the news that it is worse. Now, for today, I'm not going to worry about Ria Bovis. I'm not going to put him to work. I'm just going to hope he can get to the stage in one piece, ride easy, and not be a part of things, because I'd very much like to see him get better and recover as we now enter the final 35K on this stage. The final climb here is 15 kilometers, 6.5%. It's not the hardest climb, but the team has a really poor race day condition draw. Now, of course, our plus 12, some of that's going to be negated by Ria Bovis and his sickness. The -3 he has is actually probably expected. That's about a -4 draw, but that's really pushed in the direction of, oh right, he's sick. So realistically, we should have about a +8 or a +9 for the race day condition. It's a +1 for the net as a team. The only good caveat there is that Karaman and Isakov are both looking really strong. Petrov, Gonzalez, Albiol are looking okay. So I do have some team support, just not the usual amount that we have come to expect. As we go to hit the final climb, let's go ahead and get these guys who are in poor shape. Go ahead and use their gels early on. Martin Guerrero's another one. -6s and 7s to his stamina resistance. It's going to make him be pretty weak. In fact, they're going to get a little bit of respite. Just kind of follow your leader for a little bit. I think it was Bokanoge, Hagita, Ineos chasing. Good. Karaman, not a fan of you being this far down, but we are putting minimal effort in at the moment. 11.7k to go as we are chasing these guys down. Is that Hagita? Vandenberg. Okay. Palace, though. Palace is a bit of a contender, isn't he? 6th. 51 seconds down.
And off he goes. He's giving it one last go.
Yeah. He's the one you got to watch out for. Ineos, we got to make sure that they can actually chase this. Otherwise, we might have to put a foot down. 9k to go. We are just entering this sector right here. It's going to get a lot easier after that. And that would be where we consider making a move. Karaman's in good shape, but where is his support? Isakov. Isakov needs to get up on the wheel of Karaman. Kikovchi. He's done. Just go ahead and let him see out the rest. Sifsi is still there, but we've got Isakov to lead us out. And where did the other support go? Petrov is here as well. Let's get Petrov up in position. Gonzalez Albiol. Get these guys all up here behind Karaman and then have them take over shortly. And do this. Okay, then continue. Get effort up. Okay.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road
Petrov,
time.
actually, Petrov should just follow you right now. Let him hang in there for a little bit longer. Ria Bovis, Martin Guerrero. Those guys rightfully are at the back, and here comes the
moves
move
on to the attack.
that
It
we
could
need
be
to
decisive.
respond with, and Gonzalez Albiol is coming through right now to set ourselves up for this. He needs to gel, Petrov needs to gel, and now that they are in place, Karaman and Isakov. There you go. Martin Guerrero and Ryabovas kind of getting a day off here. These two have been dropped. Go ahead and set them to auto. Ryabovas will get dropped here soon. And Gonzalez Albiol is done. We're on to Petrov. 3.8k to go. Get Isakov ready. And the move is right there, but we are still in a strong position and using the teammates. 2.9k. Push harder. We are apparently 33 seconds behind, but that just does not seem to be the case, as we've already remade contact and are now just 19 seconds behind with 1.8k to go. Gel. Maybe a little late here. Onto Isakov, who is fairly punchy, 93. Let's bring on Karaman, and let's make a big move here. 1.2. Final kilometer. And Karaman sprint for the line. Come on, get up there, get up there, get up there. There's two guys at the front. I think one of them came from this group. No, it's not. It's Padoon, it's Titenkov, it's Breakaway. Bokadoge, no worry. Moss, and then Karaman is the highest contender. Bernal right there. Carapaz a little behind, I think. Juan Pedro Lopez, who just took, what, 9th in the Giro in real life. Took 8th here. Isakov got 9th. Good for him. And a lot of contenders are well behind, like Adria down in 18th. Okay, top two breakaway riders. It's a 14-second gap to them. We are on same time with Bernal, Carapaz, and Lopez. I think Lopez was in the break, but I'm not entirely sure. Isakov, Higuita, Sabedo are 45 seconds, and there's the majority of your breakaway riders mixed in amongst just a few top climbers. Gegenhardt, a minute down. Arnsman, Soler, over a minute down. Adria, minute and a half lost for him. Paulus was 2 minutes behind. So here is the GC following stage number 8. Carapaz still leads, but this is still ideal for us. We want Ineos to have that pressure to protect the jersey as long as possible. Karaman is 2nd. Isakov is 3rd. Moss is 4th. Bernal is 5th at that minute and a half down. We have a minute advantage over him. We did lose 10 seconds on another punchy stage that was quick simmed. Higuita, minute 58. Soler, 2:20, getting himself into the mix. Petrov still in the top 10 at 2:25. Simon Yates and Paulus falls to 2:47. Arnsman at 2:51. Lopez at 2:53. There's no real blow up of times here. Even Martin Guerrero is just 3:18 behind down in 16th. Stage 9 was another punchy one that we have quick simmed. Bernal claims the win, so he's going to get the 10-second time bonus and an 8-second advantage over the chasers. In the quick sim, they have no problem separating the time. We're looking at a bike length. We're looking at a bike length, and yet maybe 2. When we do those live, you can see 4, 5, 6 bike lengths between and not get the gaps. So Karaman, Petrov getting a good time, though losing a little bit on Bernal. Puts Bernal up into 3rd place at 55 seconds behind, but Karaman is just 12 seconds back. It looked like we actually gained a little bit on Carapaz today. And Petrov is up into 7th. 40k to go on stage number 10. We have 2 big climbs here, so this is a pretty decisive day ahead of us. Race day condition draw was a lot better. It was expected outcomes today, though Karaman only a +1 for him individually, but he's going to have plenty of support. Gonzalez Albiol looks pretty good with a +4. Riabovis officially is clear. He is over it, but that message just came today. This game has a tendency to wait a day to actually have things trigger, so he's on a 0 for the race day condition, but is no longer ill. So he has come out the other side of this, and that's good. He will stay with us, and we are starting to get into the fatigue side of things. Let's go ahead and use Kikovchi's Sifsy's gel now.
You see that? You can read the
may
pain
get
on the faces
into
at the
like
back of the
Kikovchi and
peloton. There's a
Riabovis
growing
here
number of riders
soon.
left behind.
4.5K to go on
Some teams
this
can't be
climb,
happy
which
with the
is
breakaway.
9.5K
There's an
at
attack in the
an
group at the
average just
front.
above 7. Not the hardest climb you're going to see, but with 3.5K to go, I'm not sure Kikovchi is going to make it over the top. He's going to need help recovering anyway, so let's go ahead and gel up for him. But with 2.5K to go to the top, and we hit this little peak and then drop and then reset. Sifsy's the only one gone. That's 75 left in the peloton. He is so close to making contact, but he is definitely not getting dropped here. Kickoff. Hello, 29 riders just got dropped. Now it's just 47. Isakov hanging on. We will reassess. Riabovis is protecting Gonzalez Albiol. We're going to need, I guess, Isakov's 4th. Probably not Isakov. Let's get Martin Guerrero on it. And Gonzalez Albiol is probably the one not to protect. He's the one to use to support the guys that are in the top 10. The Hazelanis, 15.3K, but the first half of that's not a climb at all. It's really just a 7K climb. The average is 6%, but that's over the course of the little hill that we go over before then climbing properly to the finish. That back group not getting back on, but they are just under a minute away, which means they're not far, and that group just split in half. Kikovchi, and they're a little further back now, and we are beginning to climb here. This is not the time yet to worry about it. Allow it to drift a little bit. We'll recover on that descent, and then that's when we set ourselves up for the final climb. Now is the time, though, to up the tempo just a little bit as we approach the top on this thing.
And there's an attack at the front. He could go all the way.
Petrov at the back end. We don't want to drop him. There you go. And return to position.
The riders are
Perfect.
entering the last 5 kilometers of the
7K
stage.
to go is all. 7K is all that's left on this one. So let's set ourselves up here with about a 91. Do we want Kramen all the way at the back? Well, no, Riabovis, you're done. So you can tail on Martin Guerrero. Sits 17th overall. Do I want him to sit on? We can give, he could be a buffer for us. Okay, on to Gonzalez Albiol as we go under 7K. And you can see that 91 effort is enough to definitely push us, get us out front. Martin Guerrero into place. That's going to use a lot of his energy. There's Isakov. There's Petrov coming into place. And Riabovis. See you later. He's about to go out the back. Rivera. Soler at the back. Bagioli. There's definitely a group of about 10 back there struggling right now. And we are in control of this thing. But Gonzalez Albiol going to have to back off for a moment. Isakov is going to have to take over and catch back up to Gonzalez Albiol. Ramen stuck behind. Going to have to close this gap back up on his own.
Attack with the finishing line within reach. Falling behind.
Isakov back in line, but we're still waiting on Karaman, who's been blocked repeatedly on this thing, and we've got a small aggressive group at the front. Now Petrov, 3.7. So those guys to auto. It's Petrov's turn. 3.8. Let's get Isakov out of the way. Block somebody else. There you go. Petrov and Karaman are going to come through. Gel for Karaman. Now, we do have a group to catch up to. Bernal, Moss, Hagita. It's 3K. This is just 10 riders here. Petrov is going to be done in a moment.
On to the attack. It could
Set
be
him to
decisive.
auto with 2.6. Now, I would attack, but you don't attack with that amount of energy. You climb at the pace you can climb. And you're going to see the group blow up. You're going to see him push past a lot of guys. And you're going to see
This
him
win is
follow
well deserved.
Carapaz.
He displayed a tremendous tenacity.
Verona has won the stage. Reese has taken second. And we are getting towed to the line here. Still 1K to go. Yikes. Karaman, just try to sit on. He's going to lose a little bit of time here, but this is still a good result. Bernal, being Bernal, Carapaz, Hagita, Moss. Karaman was 9th on the stage. He's going to barely lose any time to any contenders, but he will lose a little, especially to Bernal. I mean, that could be a good minute right there. But otherwise, good result with only that +1 race day condition, with only that 82 mountain. Everybody else with a bigger bonus. He's only about the 8th best climber, 9th best climber on paper, and has low stamina resistance. So without +2s, +3s, +4s, it's hard for him to compete. So coming out of a big climbing stage like this one with limited team support, that was pretty okay. 453 was the damage, but that was to the breakaway riders. Bernal, 306. So actually we lost a minute and a half, over a minute and a half to Bernal. Carapaz, we lost 53 seconds. Did not think we were that far down, but we were. That's fine. You deal with it, you move on. This is going to blow up the field quite a bit, though, with some pretty solid gaps. Let's hope these two aren't suddenly in the mix, or these three aren't suddenly in the mix. Rees is, but at 343 down, you figure, oh, so is Verona. Both of those guys moving well up the order inside the top 10. But we're still in the top 3. Carapaz and Bernal separated now by 1 second. Karaman is a minute behind. Hagita is a little over half a minute behind us. Moss, 45 seconds behind us. Verona, Rees, not a big factor. Talking about a 74 mountain and a 76 mountain. Moss is in 81. Hagita is in 81, so you got to watch out for those guys, as they are still very much contenders. But Bernal moving to the front with his 85 mountain, when the next best is an 82 in the entire field. Bernal taking the lead of this race is no surprise, even though he had a really poor time trial earlier. But Petrov and Iskov still in the top 10. Arnsman rounds out the top 10, and that gap is starting to get too big. I'd say from Paulus down at 618, we're talking about too big. Kurtaz, as he was a breakaway guy and is only a 76 mountain, he's not a threat. Asau, 80 mountain, not much of a threat. He's drifting back, but he is close enough. Arnsman, 79, same thing. So these two guys, not big threats. These two guys, my own guys, obviously not big threats to the overall either. So we're looking at already a top 5. We already have a firm top 5 in this race after 10 stages. And we're right in the middle of that group. Now we just have to stay ahead of Moss and Hagita to get a podium, which I think is probably the best we can hope for. Maybe second place if Carapaz struggles. Bernal, way too good. That 85 mountain, and then race day condition bonuses plus difficulty bonuses. He's probably riding 90 plus mountain rating every day. Probably an 85, 86 hills rating every day, with probably 85 stamina resistance every day. Downhill really good, and the time trial good enough. Right, with the bonuses, he's going to get, 78 on the time trial. We'll outride him. We'll do better. We'll gain time on him on that time trial. But with a roughly 90 rating daily on the mountain, we're going to lose time over and over. So any time that we finish with him, it's a good day. If we beat him once, it's going to be a good tour. That is going to do it for this episode, though. Like I said, halfway through, and we're already down to 5 contenders, and we're in the middle of that group, and we've got 2 other guys in the top 10. Good race so far. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.